Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Moe Dewitt's here. How you doing, Mo?
Hey, guys.
So, Mo, I know we're doing a pre-tailgate at the Solar Bears game
Hold
for
on.
January 27th.
Legally obligated. There we
Yep,
go.
all right.
Okay.
Injured on the go, just call Mo.
Yeah.
So we're doing the pre-Solar Bears party tailgate. Of course, you're a big sponsor of the Solar Bears. You got your name underneath the ice.
Name on the ice.
Yeah. I like that, by the way. That would be our dream. But then I looked into it.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Maybe we get him to bury you in the ice. How about that?
I'm glad Busdecker's
buried
here.
in ice. Buried in ice. We could bring back
Blaine did that already, and it wasn't that good.
Yeah, but Mr. Beast is Mr. Beast is now just redoing
That is
everything
true.
radio guys do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, pretty soon, Mr. Beast. Have you seen the new one he did where he's like, "I gave this guy $500,000, and now I'm going to do whatever I can to destroy the money." So now he's just becoming an evil genius.
Yeah.
Like now he's becoming a bad person. You're watching the turn right now because he used to just give the money to everybody with cancer and he'd show up at the hospital and give somebody a Lamborghini. That's not what he's doing anymore. Now he's like, here's $500,000, but I can hide around your house and destroy the money.
Did you see the one where he locked the people in the room for
Yes, and made him go crazy.
Yeah, and then at the end he said, all right, if you both agree to split the money, it was like anonymous, but if one of them chose to keep the money, the other person got zero.
Yes.
So they just like pitted them against each other. They ended up splitting it. But
Yeah. The other one, did you see the one where he tore a family apart because he put the guy in the shopping center?
I didn't see that
He put
one.
the guy in he put the guy in a Walmart, like he built. He's like, oh, I'm Mr. Beast. I bought this Walmart. I put a person in there, and I'm gonna drive him crazy. So this is what he did.
Become an evil genius.
He is. He's becoming. You're watching. It's happening slowly. It's just like gaining weight. It's happening slowly, and then one day you're going to wake up, and he's going to be just like Bezos, just like Elon, no different. He is no different. He put the guy in a Walmart, and then he said, this guy, as long as he can stay here, he'll get $500,000 a day or something like that, right? So the guy keeps earning money. Well, then because it was failing, right? Because this guy was getting Mr. Beast. He was besting the Beast. Mr. Beast was like, I need to ratchet up the pressure. He brought the guy's family, and he's like, haven't seen your family in 6 months? Look, he's a horrible person now. Sorry. I'm sorry I'm screaming.
Well, he's got to do something crazier and crazier, just like 90s radio. It's got to elevate every time.
He is 90s radio.
Soon he's going to be in some location abroad.
Jumping. He's going to be jumping things,
No.
right? Is that where you're going with that?
He's going to be sitting at a table. He's like, spin the chamber. And then the person is shaking him. He's like, all right, there's one bullet in there.
I'm Mr. Deer Hunter.
Let's see what you got. 1 in 6 chance. Anyway. Mo, so
That
the
turned
tail
real dark.
Well, that's what it goes. That's how. I mean,
It's
what else?
happening.
He's running out of ideas.
It's happening right now.
So, Mo, we're doing this tailgate party, and it's been in the planning stages for months and months now.
Do you have your outfit?
I've got a white shirt. But
I
don't have white pants.
I'm doing a full
expect
outfit.
white tuxedos are required for the two of you.
I wanted to do white tuxedo, but I may not be able to do that. But I am going to do white sweatpants,
There you
white
go.
Crocs, white shoes, white hoodie, white itty-bitty beanie.
Maybe leave one of those off.
No, I'm going to do white beanie.
All right.
I'm going to do little white beanie.
Like, how much white out is...
I'm doing head to toe. I might even
Well,
do
you
white
can only-
sunglasses.
You can only see from waist up in the stands. That's what it's all
No,
about.
it's all
But
about
they'll
walking
know.
in.
They'll
It's
know.
walking in.
The fans will know.
No, this isn't like a judge or a newscaster where you could just wear business on the top. See, I tied it into law with the judge comment.
So we settled on the tailgate for the whiteout game.
Yep.
And we're doing it. It's at 135 West Central Boulevard.
Yeah, it's where our office is.
Yes,
Yeah.
where the Moe Dewitt offices
Look
are.
for the tent. Look for the just call Mo tent.
Now,
Yeah.
you've been referring to
Now-
it as Moe's parking lot, which doesn't...
It's the parking lot at Moe's Southwest Grill. Free burritos for all.
What's in the parking
I
lot?
know you've been referring to it as Moe's parking lot. I'm like,
Well, I'm literal.
I think they're gonna get confused.
Well, there's no way we're inviting BDMs up to the
We're not letting
office.
you animals in the office.
That's true. That's true. You don't want that.
So, yeah, you just look for the tent. We'll all be out there. We got some beers. We got White Claw. They're donating
Yeah.
some products. So we got free.
I
Then-
like that White Claw, White Out Party. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good tie-in.
So a month or so ago, Busdecker in a text message was like, hey, we'll do this. We'll have some beers.
well,
we'll
you've
make
been
it
rubbing
super
off
chill.
on him. I wanted to talk to both of you about this. You've been rubbing off on him.
Please
because-
don't rub off on
No,
him.
because I think he was trying to cheap out like you like to do.
Well, then he was like, I'll grill some hot dogs.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
cheap it out.
I'm like, oh, Busdecker's gonna grill some hot dogs for listeners. So then I started promoting that. I'm like, Busdecker's grilling hot dogs
That
for
was just
sure.
like a suggestion that I might do. I didn't
Well,
think you're gonna promote
I made
it.
fun of it at first. I was like, Bus is gonna grill.
I kinda did
I said
too.
he's gonna bring a charbroil out there and start doing it.
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
what they
I started
want.
going on a riff. I was
You
like,
could
what are
buy
we?
a lot of hot dogs for like $50.
I was like, what
Yeah,
are we?
yeah.
Some family-owned Ace Hardware, and then I've got my daughter out there grilling hot dogs so I can sell a couple of Yeti cups.
But
I'm not doing that.
But then I'm building theater of the mind. I'm promoting the event. I'm
Yeah.
like, we're gonna have free white
So
coffee,
then he got me
beer,
on board.
a tent,
Af-
parking lot.
After I hated it, and then I was just rapid fire shooting holes in the idea, then he got me on board. That's usually what happens. He'll pull me along, and I am an advocate for him. And who's in your corner? Always me.
Uh-huh.
So I invented this whole idea about bus doggers, the John bus doggers. Come get a bus dog.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, this is gonna be great.
So we started talking about it. I'm like, this is awesome. We're promoting it. Then I get the word that, Busdecker's pulling back on the hot
Yeah.
dogs. He's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
order
yeah.
some
Yeah.
party
Yeah,
platters.
too much work.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
Brendan
too
told
much
us.
work.
Brendan told you. You didn't even tell us. We
Yeah,
went
yeah.
behind your back and we got the scoop from Brendan because Brendan's not a liar.
Yeah.
And Brendan
Yeah.
said, Brendan goes, I think Bus is just going to get some party platters. And I'm like, party platters? That's terrible.
Yeah, we said-
I've been selling bus
All
dogs.
right. Well, it's 10 days between now and then. I might
Oh my
change
God.
my mind.
It's like Joe Coy. We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
10 days.
So Mo, I'm not going to tell you how to handle your employees. Because, I'm just saying that I've been promoting
Yeah.
Busdecker's going to grill
It's in the
hot dogs.
copy.
Yeah, we've
It's in
been
the
saying
copy.
it. And if we,
I bought busdogger.com.
and if our listeners and BDMs go out and then we got some stinky old party platters on the table.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed.
Yeah, they're going to be like Tom said, Busted.
I don't even know what a party platter.
Dogs.
What is a party platter?
Yeah, the Publix has a
Like
the
chicken
cellophane.
tenders.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
What if we put Busdecker in a hot dog costume and make him serve the party platters?
Well, now you're just trying to get me to like do anything. I'll do anything for that.
Anyway, so I'm just saying, if Busdecker was actually physically grilling hot dogs
Yes.
on some
I have
sort
a
of
grill. I can bring the
grill.
grill.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not really that big of a deal.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But Brendan
kind of
O'Connor
dog?
said you were
Party
retracting.
platter.
Are you going to eat a hot dog if I make a hot dog?
I will eat hot dogs.
Yeah.
All right.
What
yeah.
kind? Are we doing turbo dogs? Quarter? What are we doing? Quarter pound? Half pound? What are we doing? What size?
I'll
Greenville Franks?
I'm a ballpark Frank man myself. yeah.
Okay, you like a long boy or are you like
Just a regular hot
a
dog.
mini man?
I like the move where you throw me the hot dog and I try to catch it in my mouth slow motion. And
Then you choke to death. Someone's doing the Heimlich.
and then it just bounces off my cheek. And then I'm like, I know what that means. Wiener. Anyway, so- sorry, Mo. Anyway. So let's get to business here.
All right.
We had a
I have
listener.
questions.
Yeah. Let's talk about
Who
it.
needs questions?
Let's go with the BDM one first. You're right. The first question, was on the BDM page. I think you already commented on this, but I thought it was kind of interesting. This is from our BDM Facebook page. Hey, BDMs, I'm hoping to get some advice or recommendations on who to contact from one of your lawyermen in the group. I'm down in Lake Worth, and a couple of hours ago, a neighbor that lives a few houses down from me ran their car into my front door. The door and frame are mangled. There's a small hole in the concrete wall next to it and additional crumbling on the wall and cracks all the way up. Cops were called and we got their info. They also hit the side of my fiance's car. I already submitted a claim. Citizens gave me a claim number and gave me the name and number of the adjuster who will contact me tomorrow. Has anyone dealt with anything like this before? Should I lawyer up? And if so, does anybody have any recommendations?
Real quick, I can't imagine there's a lot of lawyers in that BDM group. Seems more like a truck driving kind of group.
What are you trying to say?
Shots fired.
Listen, you were below.
This is the man that was going to grill you. The
I'm
dog.
just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
coming
saying.
from Party Platter Pete over there.
Yeah.
We need a good villain now. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always
How many lawyers you got in that group? You think?
there's a couple.
I know a couple.
Actually, most of the lawyers
They don't want to
are-
admit it.
Yeah, I most of the guys that I know that do mention that they are. I had a guy yesterday.
Yeah.
I won't say who it is, but he was like, "Yeah, I'm a lawyer."
One of them is my sister's landlord.
I know that one too. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we have a lot of secret lawyers because
Yeah.
we are a pretty embarrassing show.
Yeah.
I
They
get
don't,
it.
yeah, they
Yeah.
don't want to.
You tell me this now?
yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Only Mo is brave enough.
Or dumb enough.
So back to the question, Mo. Someone hit his front door, hit his house, his wife's car. They've already made an insurance claim.
How does that happen?
I imagine
Is that a medical emergency or are you drunk? That's the only two things I,
I mean,
can think of.
a lot of times they're drunk. There was one by my house on Horatio. where the guy was drunk, I think, jumped the curb, ran straight through the house, and they ended up having to demolish the whole house because it got filled with mold and all that kind of stuff, and they rebuilt the house. So, I mean, it does happen.
I've always thought it would be cool to have some. And hear me out.
Mm.
Like there are these people locally in Baldwin that have that townhome that flooded because the people that were putting the roof on, they hit the sprinkler system in it and it flooded the whole thing. And now like 3 of the units are like condemned and they don't know what they're going to do. And now like insurance, the company, whatever, they're all fighting it out, to see what they're going to do. Meanwhile, these people are unhoused, I guess. I've always thought that would be pretty cool because I'm like, I'll get a new house. I don't look at that as I know Andrea would start crying and everything. I'd be like, oh, my God, free house.
The problem is it takes a long
I know,
time.
but I don't
Such a
think about
pain.
that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think about that.
And they start negotiating. They're like, your house is worth this much. Let's
be honest.
Yeah, it's not like they come in and they're like, we're giving you $100,000 over. Or what,
I know.
It's a negotiation.
I'm just showing you how stupid I am.
Speaking of that, I think that's why maybe you should get a lawyer for that negotiation process. But I don't know. What do you think, Mo?
Well, I mean, he wants to set up a claim with the person's car insurance who hit the house and his own homeowner's insurance. They want to make them aware of it as well. I'd say you probably don't need a lawyer right off the bat. Basically get some estimates from some contractors and make sure they're going to cover the estimates. If they're being fair with you, I don't think you need to get a lawyer. If they're lowballing you, then it's time to get a lawyer involved. But, one thing to be cautious of, and somebody mentioned it in the group there, is, don't sign any assignment of benefits because that can cause a lot of issues. Don't sign anything with a contractor until you know what the insurance company is going to cover. And then if you do have questions, give a lawyer a call. I mean, most lawyers who deal with this kind of stuff will give you some free advice. They'll do a free consultation. I mean, you hear the commercials all the time, call us for free. Well, call them, get some advice. If you have questions, ask them. But ultimately, I don't think you need a lawyer up right away in this situation. If somebody was hurt, it would be a different story. But here, since it's just property damage, I think you should be able to handle it without a lawyer, initially at least.
Okay.
Oh, I just had a flash of Mo. Rasta wig on, and he's like, call me now. He's doing the lady.
We've done that. We've done that video.
You've done the psychic lady?
Yeah, well, Miss Cleo.
But did you appropriate? Did you do the
I don't
appropriate?
remember.
He was not wearing dreadlocks.
No.
No dreadlocks.
No, I had like a fortune teller hat on.
Fortune
though.
teller hat, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send
Some
you
would
the
call
video.
that a turban, but
Yeah,
okay.
But wasn't she appropriating? Wasn't she not actually Jamaican or something?
I don't
came
think
out?
she was. My good friend Drew Garabo is in the infomercial. I'll
I
have
saw
to ask
that.
him.
Because
He'd probably tell me.
she filmed at the Real Radio Studios. If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
it was after I'd already left his show, and Drew was in the. I don't know if he wants to talk about it, but he might. Yeah, I don't know. He and I are good, and
Is he on the air right now? Give him a call.
I'll ask him. I mean, he might talk about it, or I don't know what the deal is.
We have a Call Me Now video.
Okay, I'll have to find that.
I'll send it to you.
Please, thank you.
Maybe we should delete that one.
Looking
out for you, Mo.
So,
Thank you.
Mo, me and Daniel were talking about this earlier this week. There was a BDM that asked us about a mugshot. And they said that they got
It was my wife.
That sounds like the BDMs I know.
yeah. So they got a charge with a crime or arrested.
Just arrested.
Just arrested.
No charges.
Got a mugshot, but then they
were
wrongfully accused. I think is the proper term.
Yeah, and then mugshot, gets processed.
Right.
It's going through a longer than normal. Let's figure this out.
Uh-huh.
But then once everything gets out, it's like, nah.
Yeah, they threw it out, or the case gets dismissed,
you
or
didn't
whatever.
do anything wrong.
So then, therefore, you're not guilty of any crime. But the mugshot apparently still exists on the internet because of, I guess, their public knowledge or whatever.
And that Instagram, I think it's mugshot hotties. Oh my God, my favorite Instagram account.
And I know that's partly the reason why there's so much like Florida man did this, and we're such a joke in the entire country because of our laws with media, and then basically
And the way we look.
It's
and
our
the way
population.
We look. It's the way we
No,
look. Too. I don't know if you've looked at us lately, but we are very ugly.
Have you seen New Jersey? There's worse people in New Jersey.
But it's colder.
That's the only comparison. Us in New Jersey.
No,
I'm
but
just
follow me
saying.
here. It's colder,
Yeah,
so naturally, if they're ghouly, they cover themselves more.
And they
We
stay
are-
inside 3 months
we're-
out
yeah,
of the
we're
year.
naked ghouls.
No, there are mobsters up there.
Yeah, but they cover themselves.
And they don't get caught.
A ghoul in a leather jacket is better looking than a nude ghoul.
So, how does that work, Mo? Where if you have a mugshot and then you are acquitted or the crime, thrown out or whatever, like you're not guilty of anything, but the mugshot still exists, can you get that taken out?
That used to be big business where they'd have those mugshot websites and you have to pay them to remove it. They charge you like $500 or $800 to remove it. Otherwise, it would kind of live on the internet forever.
Yeah.
Now, I think they made that illegal now, so you can't do that anymore. So I think most of them have a provision where you can just request a takedown if you were found, not guilty or their charges were dismissed or something like that. It depends where it's living, obviously, if it's a news site or a personal site. But I know they passed a law about that a few years back. It's been a while since I've looked at it. But, they can't charge you to take it down anymore.
And what if you're a celebrity and your mugshot goes up and then every BDM starts putting it out there making fun of you?
That's a different story. Celebrities are different stand-up.
And then I go and I'm like, I was acquitted. Mo got me off. And then I'm like, I didn't. I wasn't driving drunk. And then but it still lives if you search Tom Van mugshot. It still pops up because the BDM spread it around everywhere.
Yeah, you can't do anything about that.
Yeah, you can't do anything about that.
Oh,
You're
God.
screwed.
Yeah, so I guess the answer would be
Don't drink and drive.
well, I mean, like for this, for these particular people, though, man, I don't know if you can if it wants to stay out there, it will stay out there. What I mean by that is, like, if you do garner enough attention where people would want to screenshot your mugshot, you can't do anything about that.
Yeah, the internet's too powerful.
It really is. I mean, like, even if you got rid of it, somebody still got it on their phone, and they might wait 9 years and go, like, you know what? I want to put this back out.
Yeah, I mean, there was and I won't say who it was or the media outlet, but there was a media outlet who posted somebody's mugshot from like 20 years ago and was like, 20th anniversry of this person's arrest. It's like,
It just keeps coming. I remember Blippi was the only celebrity.
No, I found it.
I know, but he got close to scraping every evidence of the old
can't
number
beat
3.
Me, Blippy. He can't beat me. And I take great pride in the fact. I wrote him an email and I said, you can't beat me, Blip.
Yeah. And
I found the video of you spraying pudding out of your backside. That's what the video is. I can't really just.
because he tried to do like jackass style stuff before he did like the Blippi
it
stuff.
was his friend.
And he tried to scrape it, and he almost did, but it blew back over.
You can't beat his friend was sitting on the edge of a tub, and he was standing on. He was doing a handstand on a toilet.
What were the things you were searching for to try to find that video?
What you would think.
Exactly
the words.
Yeah. Every video you would need to get to that video, I watched.
What were all the wrong videos that you had to see?
Oh, there was a lot of different.
Some things I can't even talk about. You have to go too far to be just right.
Mo, I got another question. I saw on the BDM page there was a BDM. They posted it anonymously, which I always laugh at because they're so embarrassed. Which is it's funny to be embarrassed on the BDM page.
By the way, I'll say it before. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you post anonymously on the BDM page, nobody knows who you are. So go ahead, please do it. Because if you want some anonymity, if you do that, there's no way I will know who you are. So just do it.
I mean, I'll say it's usually Bustecker.
Yeah, just do it.
So basically, he got one of these fix your credit services because he has bad credit.
I know that guy.
It's easier. You just write these letters.
You know what you are?
You're like, this is not mine. It's mine.
You know what you are?
Sure. I'm looking at the charge. It's mine for sure.
You are the
I'm lying.
You are the Orlando at Castleberry equivalent of Ric Flair in the Car Shield commercials. Like, with the fact that you used.
So I have to not think about it.
Like Ric Flair. Have you seen him in the Car Shield commercial? Car Shield. Oh, it's so good.
Anyway,
and Exhibit, and Ric Flair.
So one of his credit cards was suing him, and the court date, they sent him in the mail or whatever, and it was coming up, and he was trying to ask the credit card company, like, what should I do? They're like, oh, we'll handle it, but all these things are like loose, and so he was freaking out because he didn't know what to do. And I saw you made a comment, Mo, on the BDM page, which Mo's awesome about doing. If like people ask questions, like
especially if he tagged me on it, which is way easier.
Cheap. I feel like that's cheap when you do that. I feel like you should tag it and then you should send Mo $1. Seriously, I'm serious. Like, it feels like you should not be allowed to do that.
No, I appreciate when they tag me because like sometimes if you message me on Facebook, we get so much spam on there that a lot of times it gets lost. I try to answer everything, but it's hard to sort it, and every 5 minutes they're sending you some fake alert. Your account's being shut down for so and so. Click here. So you have to kind of dig through all those to actually find the legitimate questions. So, anyways.
And so, what was your advice to this person? Because his court date was like this weekend or something, and he didn't know what to do.
Well, and they don't have court on the weekends, but
It was a trap. It's a trap. Don't go. They don't have court on the weekend. They're trying to get you.
That's why Moe's a lawyer.
Yeah, they're
He
trying
knows
to get
these
you,
things.
man.
I'm like, I'm here for my free TV. Oh, sorry.
well, I
can't breathe.
one of the things the credit repair agency just told him to ignore it and they would handle it and that he didn't need to show up to court. But I've dealt with a number of listeners where they get notices and they ignore them, and then they eventually the company gets a judgment against them. They start garnishing their wages, and that's when they're like, wait a second, I have to do something. And by then it's usually too late to do anything. So if you don't show up to court, most likely they'll get a default judgment against you. They'll add a bunch of attorney's fees, a bunch of interest, late fees, penalties, all this kind of stuff, and you're going to owe some gigantic amount. If you show up or hire an attorney to show up, you can typically, if you do owe it, you can negotiate it, work out a payment plan. There may be defenses. It may be barred by the statute of limitations. So you need somebody to actually look at it. But the worst thing you can do is just not show up.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about, Mo, because I feel like the court system is they don't mind if you show up and don't know what's going on. They like for instance, you can if you like you look at the court date and you're like, all right, I don't even know what this is about or what I'm supposed to do, or and you could just show up to the courtroom or like the courthouse and then show someone this is what, and then they'll kind of usher you to where you need to be and kind of walk you along
like
the process.
you're at an old folks home and you need to go potty.
Like they won't penalize you for being ignorant. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, it's good not to be ignorant. They'll at least show you where the courtroom is. I mean, and that's still better than just not showing up at all. But, depending on the situation, you should probably consult with an attorney, get some advice, at least do a consultation, and maybe hire somebody to represent you. Depending what it is, it may be fairly inexpensive to get somebody to represent you in something like that. But again, at least show up. Typically, with those kinds of things, if it's a small claims court, usually you show up and there's a pretrial conference and they try to do like a little mini mediation to see if they can work out a payment plan with you. But again, you have to show up, otherwise they're just going to get a default judgment against you.
Yeah. It's basically what I'm saying is if you don't know what's going on, the courtroom's not going to, or the judge or anybody's not going to penalize you for not understanding the process or why you're even there.
Scared,
they just need you physically there, right?
Yeah, I would be terrified.
It can be intimidating, but they're not going to yell at you, for showing up and following instructions. The worst they're going to say is, you might want to hire an attorney on this, get some representation. Typically, the judge can't give you legal advice, but there is, at least in Orange County, they have a self-help center where you can go and try to get some help there. And some advice if you need it.
Do you guys want to hear a gangster rap song about?
Yes, you don't even have to finish that.
It's about John Busdecker and his fresh grilled peckers.
All right, here we go.
Check it, this John Busdecker, the grill master, cooking up peckers that'll make your taste buds faster. I got the heat, the sizzle, the flavor that's supreme. Grilling up peckers like you never seen. Yeah, chopping up onions, peppers, and spices so lethal. Searing the peckers, getting that perfect syrup feel. Throwing down some BBQ sauce, smoking them to perfection. When it comes to grilling, I'm the gangster connection.
What do they call it? Is that the bridge? Is that the bridge?
It's the hook, man.
The hook.
John Busdecker's grilled pecker.
I love it.
It's good,
I love
man.
it.
It's got a beat.
Speaking of AI, Mo, we had one last question.
Oh yeah, let me get my article here.
It seems like technology moves faster than laws do.
Very true.
And it seems like this AI is going to cause a lot of problems in the entertainment industry and copyright issues, and because right now, I mean, we just did it. It's writing songs for you. It's stealing, and Daniel's right. The reason why it has that like hiss or like that, or the audio quality is not perfect, is because it's putting this song together using thousands of songs, and like I don't even know how it's doing it, but
it seems very torrenty to me, where it's just stealing little bits of data and putting it back together in a song.
And then Daniel was talking about like now there's AI videos, and you can put people's faces on whatever video you
and
want
then there was
them
a
to be
case. Yeah, I guess this is as of today. A teenage victim of non-consensual Sexually explicit deepfakes joins Representative Joe Morell, Democrat from New York, because they're going to try and change some laws because apparently, I guess, and Mo will be able to tell us, but isn't it like state law now? It's up to...
Yeah, I mean, typically it's going to be state by state. I don't think there's any federal act in place yet, but the law is very much behind the technology at this point where they just don't really know what to do with it. I mean, and that's, historically kind of what happens. I mean, think about how long it took them to shut down Napster, which was just blatantly stealing music for years. So it's going to take a while, and this is way more complicated than something like that, how it works and where they're getting the information from. There's already a number of lawsuits, involving it and whether it's a transformative work or whether it's just blatantly stealing somebody's work. So there's going to be a lot of lawsuits, and ultimately we're probably going to need some sort of, federal law that clarifies, how this works on a national basis. Because typically trademark law is national usually.
But by the time they figured out Napster, the world had changed, and
right.
And so
and that's what's going to happen here. There's going to be something brand new. And we'll have law that applies to something that happened 5 years ago because it takes a case. It can take a case 3 to 5 years just to work through the system with all the appeals and everything else.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the case with any emerging technology. By the time anybody steps in and says, "Oh, you can't do this," the society has already done it and are doing it currently, actively, and there's no way to stop it. It's like
where it really gets dicey, and it's the thing I don't like talking about, is there are cases that I've read about, and this is where it becomes less fun, where they're like you have like pedophiles using this technology to create children that don't exist and create sexually explicit images, and that's just uber wrong. It's like really twisted and weird, and like kind of like it. It's I don't even know how to even wrap my brain, or it's not even something I wanted to or ever thought I would think about. You know what I mean? Like it's just not.
Yeah, I mean,
as a parent, I see that and I'm like, that's not good. That's bad.
No,
that's bad.
It's disgusting and it's bizarre. But then there's also some really bizarre case law where there was a guy who was arrested who would go and sit in like the parking lot of playgrounds. I think I can't remember if he was convicted, but whatever. He would sit in the playgrounds and they'd asked him what he was doing, and he basically said, "I'm fantasizing about these children doing, sexually explicit things," and they prosecuted him for that. And ultimately, the Supreme Court said, "Well, you can't prosecute somebody for imagining something."
Right.
So then, how do you deal with something that's like a fake image, or is it a fake image? It all becomes very convoluted. In the
perfect
law.
example of how icky it gets. That's perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
It's like everybody's seen the Lisa Simpson pornos.
Well, let's not say everybody.
Exactly.
Maybe on that side of the desk.
I'm saying
another great example. I have great examples to my left, great examples to my right. It's a think tank. We are an AI think tank. Hold on, I gotta get that assignment. There we
it's
go.
on the advertisement on the side.
Everyone's seen the Lisa Simpson porno.
No, I didn't click on it. It's just I realized it exists.
My God,
and then I'm like,
that's not a saxophone.
We should really reconsider the sponsorship.
He's 8 years old.
And then Mo said, we should really reconsider the sponsorship. That's not good. You'll join the long line like Manscaped. Take us back, Manscaped. We didn't mean to do it. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tell it.
Mo and Manscaped, they're going to be analyzing this audio.
Oh, my God, we lost Moscape.
Like, remember when Tom brought up Lisa Simpson? That was the day the show died. Sorry, Mo. Injured on the go, just call Mo. Come see John Bustecker Grills and Hot Dogs
Exactly.
on January 27th.
Saturday.
Saturday. The pre-tailgate party for the Solar Bears game.
Injured on that go, just call Mo. Hard in the snow, just call Mo. Feeling kinda low, just call Mo. Need some extra dough, just call Mo. God needs a Mo, just call Mo. Ladies tell you no, just call Mo.
Okay, hold on. Ladies tell you no, just call Mo. That's not.
Also not approving that one.
That is absolutely. AI's. Ladies tell you no, just call. That is
He's not a defense attorney for rape.
I have to delete the program.
Yeah. Also, if you're feeling low, don't call Mo.
No, and if you're in the snow, do not call Mo.
Stupid AI. All right. Sorry, Mo.
Yeah.
Bustecker, I'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah, grilling your hot dog. All right.
And we'll be right back.
Awesome. Great job, y'all. Thank you for doing that. We're still on YouTube and Twitch. That was funny.
Good show.
When's that, Aaron?
That
Thursday.
Be
Okay.
So Thursday, first segment.
All right.
Thanks again for coming in, y'all.
So we'll finish Thursday 2, and then we'll probably just hang out on Twitch until
Okay.
Taylor calls.
Taylor Swift's call?
I wish. Taylor Williamson, though, another famous person from the second place runner-up for America's Got Talent. And you may have seen him on What the Fuck with Mark Maron and just recently on another big show. What was it?
Podcast.
Bad Friends with Bobby Lee and
Okay.
Santino. Am I getting, what's his, Andrew Santino?
Is that the redhead guy?
Did I get
Yeah,
his name
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Andrew
Right,
Santino, yeah. He's
Can I
really
get-
funny.
Can I get a photo of you
Dickie.
three?
Yeah, please.
Maybe with those whiteout.
You see
Koozies.
where David Spade was on that show and like he was,
Oh, they ripped him a
and-
new one. I have a guy that you might like to follow that I follow that kind of summarizes all that stuff. You may already be watching it.
they fight with them?
No, but you could tell that David Spade and Andrew were really mad that he had wasted their time. Because he was like significantly late. Yeah, like an hour late to the show. And so David Spade, they got content out of it. David Spade gets full David Spade, and it's kind of uncomfortable. Yeah, because he's really good at it. All right. Which side are you on? Thank you, man. Always a Thank you, Mo.
I want to see something here.
Thank you for my cozy.
We might get one of these.
Oh, do you need one?
Maybe. We're probably gonna get one.
I bought this one used.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can find them.
Versions of it? 'Cause the one
There's
I was looking at was,
three.
like smaller.
There's three. There's a mini, there's a
Yeah.
regular, and then this is the XL that's real
Okay.
big.
I don't think we need.
This is the best one because you get the dials, you get the touch screen, and then you get a bunch of buttons. No, you don't need a big one because you can make it so this button, you hit it, and it just gives you extra pages that you just swipe.
I mean, we only have like three things. It'd probably be one camera, one.
Then a mini might
monitor.
work, and those
Yeah.
are like $80.
Okay. Maybe I'll
This one was like 200, but I bought it
we need all
used.
that.
Yeah, I buy a lot of my stuff on like
Okay.
used gear websites and stuff.
All right.
But yeah, if you need any help with it, it's super self-explanatory, but you'll love it.
Okay.
All right, let me save this. Thursday 1/18/24 raw audio.
Okie dokie.
All right, dude.
See you guys.
See ya.
So good seeing you, man.
Yeah, we'll be talking before, but we'll see you at the tailgate. And
Okay.
then,
Yeah, just keep promoting it. I mean, I honestly, I don't really care who shows up. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna get 1,000 people there.
no, yeah, we'll have a good crowd. I know that just based on the
All right.
a couple dozen already
Yeah.
saying they want to come, and then
Yeah.
we'll keep pushing it.
Yeah,
So
and we
it'll be
asked,
good.
we sent a note out to all of our VIPs. That's about 400, and then I know Brendan sent something out to a couple of buddies too.
Cool.
I don't know if we'll get a ton of either of those, but we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll be talking to you about. I think we could do something for the BDM appreciation event in April this year.
Okay.
Because we're doing like another $5 shirt, and so we're going to be sending out a lot of mail stuff to everybody. So we should do something together and send. It'd be a good opportunity to send out most stuff. To
Jim
Plus, we're doing,
Ursay? Who is that?
week too, that may
BDM Casey. Is that somebody I should know, buddy?
and sponsor because there's video boards and stuff, so we could do cool stuff.
Where at?
It's at the Cabana
The
Live.
Colts owner.
It's the one
Oh,
that's
sorry, spelled with an I.
there, and they
Not that should. Yeah, I only know it because I've seen it. I don't really know how to say it.
pool there, so
Wow, that's not cool. Is the dude a junkie? He looks a little junkie-ish. His face looks like
and there should be a good amount.
a little junkie.
Probably 400 people, I would say. Because the whole
Oh, he's in the hospital now.
crowd. So, all right, we'll
All right, good. Cool. Let me know.
See you guys. Bye, Forrest.
Yeah,
Good
we'll
seeing
be
you,
in touch.
man.
See you, Forrest.
I didn't know that the Colts owner had been found
Oh yeah, Jim Ursay.
found blue, unresponsive in December.
Yeah, opiate overdose.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. He looks like it. You can look at his face. It 100% looks like opiates.
He's had opiate overdoses before.
It looks like it. That's funny how you can see that. Damn. That should have get anybody.
Well, you think billionaires don't have the same problems as other
Rush
people.
Limbaugh, he was a
Same
junkie.
shit.
Yeah,
They're all human beings.
All human beings. All right, we need to finish this.
Yeah.
Really, just 10 if we can do it.
Perfect. Well, let's talk about the Jim Irsay stuff.
Okay. And I'll bring us back in 3, 2. Welcome back to a corporate time.
So it just got released that Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, they released that they found him in his house unresponsive and blue, and they hit him with Narcan.
Yeah.
And they had been, I guess, I'm guessing he tried to hide this as much because this happened back in the early December.
I didn't hear about this. I mean, everybody in the chat room was kind of lighting up about it because it just got released just now.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear one thing about this.
No, and they tried to, I guess it had been public that he'd have health problems, but then they were saying that it was like a respiratory problem, and apparently it was an opioid overdose, and they hit him with Narcan and stuff, and they brought him like he was blue, unresponsive, and he had a public battle with opiates. And so this has been known that he had been fighting this, although he had.
Did he want a public battle with opiates, or was this it came out?
Well, it came out a while ago because he was talking about like he had surgeries back in the day and he'd been like fighting addiction. So
it affects everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if there's one human listening to us right now that hasn't been touched in some way by opiate addiction. I don't think it's possible.
And if you broaden that to other addictions, then it's everybody.
Oh, it's everybody. I mean, alcohol's right in front of your face all the time. But opiates, though, it's funny because you don't think about it being all across the board type of addiction, but it absolutely is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not, the pain pills aren't as bad as it was 15 years ago when they were just writing prescriptions like crazy, but I mean, to put someone with unlimited money, and then also on the opposite of that, like heroin and illegal opioids are still just as big of a problem. Sure. It's just the pain pills opened it up so much because people were getting it from doctors. And, now that that's been tampered down, I'm guessing the rich people can still, I mean, if you're rich, that rich, you can get opioids, you can get pain pills.
Oh, yeah.
From doctors, from other people.
So is this this is news only because he's a man of power and he's weak? Is that why this is news?
Well, he's a celebrity, Yeah. I mean,
I didn't know who the guy was.
There's only 32 NFL owners, right? And now
that's ultra rare, man.
Ever since the Commanders owner, what's his face? They booted him out.
I'm blanking on his name. Yeah, super problematic and bad.
And so now it's kind of like any other owners that even slip up a little bit, like the media does. It's a story because it's such a tight knit group of billionaires.
I like the. I've grown to like it. I don't think I originally liked it, but I do like now the sort of the villains of the owners. Like I do like a good Jerry Jones throwing stuff in his suite when the Cowboys are getting beat. He's throwing the tickets around. I love stuff like that.
Was it Irsay? I forgot what owner threw a beverage.
Oh no, that was the Carolina Panthers.
Oh
owner.
yeah,
I forget the guy's name.
Yeah.
He looks like a fat little mole man.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, with the glasses.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying he's the new bad guy.
Yeah. He's the new villain because ever since they got rid of the Commanders dude.
It was Dan
Snyder.
Snyder was who we were thinking of, and David Tepper.
Yeah. He
was fined $300,000 for throwing that drink, dude.
Yeah, which is nothing to him.
But still, when there was a report that came out this week that our buddy Owen from the Ono radio show, I saw him put it on his Facebook, saying that football fans, they did a study to try and find out who were the smartest sports fans, and it was wrestling fans, which doesn't surprise me because they're all nerds.
That's funny. Really? It was wrestling fans?
Let me find this, and I give Owen and the Ono radio show full credit for this because Owen's a big wrestling fan, and he was like, look, I've been telling you guys for years we're the smartest fans. Finally, there's a study, but football fans came in right at the bottom with baseball fans.
Okay.
So my point is, if you're a dumb football fan and you hear that this guy got fined $300,000, to me that blows my mind. I can't even conceive $300,000.
Yeah. But then you put it in proportion to his wealth, and it's like us getting fined $100. And, it's like, so then it's like, all right, it is nothing to him, but it sounds like a lot to us.
This is from Owen, of a courtesy of Owen, Ono Radio Show. It's from Yahoo Finance of May of 2021, but he threw it in there, and I thought it was new, but it's not. In descending order, the smartest sports fans in the U.S. are: wrestling comes in at number 1 with an average of 112.60 IQ. Ice hockey is number 2 with 112.30 IQ. Basketball, number 3 with 110. 4, football, 105. Baseball, you're rock bottom, 106. Or excuse me, 101. 101. No soccer on there. I don't know why they didn't choose to do soccer, but
I wonder if it's proportional to how many, because the NFL has the biggest audience. So it is kind of unfair.
It brings them down.
Yeah, it brings everybody down. It brings the average down.
I would imagine if you did globally soccer, they're going to come in dead last because, everybody watches soccer.
Well, yeah, once you get into 3 billion people, then
India
it's like,
and China
then it goes down to the world IQ average, because there's just too many.
Right.
But that it does make sense because if you're watching essentially a theater act.
Yeah, and you have to understand the nuances of what they do. You have to follow the storyline. It's theater.
Yeah. So back to Irsay and the Colts. So when that happens, do you try to talk about it publicly? Or do you just, I think keep it under wraps?
I think you have to. What I would do if I had, pardon me, if I had
use it as
the
a platform.
You would have to, and you would have to. I would tell myself, okay, here's the deal. I gotta stop. There's no doubt about that. Not only for just like publicity's sake, but for being a human and wanting to live and be around my family.
Yeah.
I owe it to them and to myself as this is my one shot to try and quit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the platform to motivate me, and I'm going to motivate the platform. It's going to be, It's going to be a system, and I have to do this.
That will make people at least feel compassionate towards you and your struggle and relate you to the average person because these billionaires unrelatable obviously,
except for when Jerry Jones salted his egg McMuffin. Hold on a second, I gotta. You know what? I disagree with you.
So okay,
when he salted his McMuffin, I was like, he's just like my dad. And my dad wasn't rich.
Not to get too much into sports, but do you think
I like sports?
You think Jerry Jones hires Belichick? That's what everybody's talking about.
I would like for him to. The only reason I wouldn't say he would do it, and this is from me as an emotional person using my skills, right?
Yeah.
Too many egos. I don't even know how you'd manage that, right? You got Jerry Jones. He's as hand-on as it gets, right? You know more than me.
Yeah.
So then you got Belichick, and Belichick's leave your hands off my team. So what do you, is that a good... Do they have a deal in place?
Well, maybe Jerry Jones, because he's always been that hands-on coach and not wanting, and so other coaches have not, coached Dallas because of that.
So
they
Mike
don't want
McDaniel comes to the Falcons.
Right?
That's fine. He's okay.
Or
what's his name?
The coach of the, he's also had 3 12-win seasons too with Dallas.
Yeah.
So as far on paper, he's a winning coach, but he can't win a playoff at home. Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. That's it. Why did I say Mike McDaniel?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Mick something.
Too many Micks.
There's a lot of white
Are
coaches.
we allowed to say that, Mix?
Everybody's talking about that he wants to go back to the Super Bowl before he dies, which is a morbid. All the media is Jerry Jones wants to win or be back to the Super Bowl before he dies. He doesn't have that much time left.
They're doing that with Arthur Blank, too. I don't like any of it. It's a weird thing to talk about. They're doing it with Belichick
but it's the truth.
and Arthur Blank. Apparently, Arthur Blank spent 3 hours with Belichick, and they concluded their meeting at 9:30 p.m., And Arthur Blank was there, and they were chatting for hours and hours. And then, like, people were saying that the tone of the meeting was not much time. You know, I'm like, that's crazy.
There's all these old owners, and Belichick's in the 70s and stuff. I mean, just you have to face the facts, and they all know it. All these billionaires, the only thing that we all have in common is the same amount of time. So Jerry Jones and all these guys that have unlimited resources and money, they're looking at the same clock we're all looking at, and they can't extend it. You know, we don't have the technology. Like, they're done. Their bodies are old.
Especially if you're salting your McMuffin. It's not helping you.
Well, you got a lot of doctors helping you out. But anyway, so, you know, he's looking at it. I mean, at any... You know, in the next couple of years, some sort of health problem could happen to Jerry Jones, and he's not as involved as he wants. You know, he wants to be still actively involved in the team and win a Super Bowl, and, you know, he'll throw money at it.
Ghost of Manute Bull, who is also a Falcons fan like me, says, a decision is coming soon. Atlanta is letting their DC interview for a lateral, so someone is coming in with their own people fairly soon. Harbaugh was with blank until 10:30 last night.
Yeah, from the podcast I listened to, it seems like Harbaugh is going to L.A. and the Chargers, and that would be a better fit because they already have Herbert there, and it seems like he can make that team. The team is already
they're ready to go.
A winning roster.
Yeah.
So it seems.
We don't have a quarterback. So.
And Atlanta doesn't. Although Atlanta has a great division to be competitive in, you know.
That's true. Not a lot of it's pretty easy picking in the NFC South.
You know, the Chargers are a way harder division. So, you know.
Ghost is saying the Chargers are in salary cap hell, though. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Like,
yeah, but with the coaches aren't under the salary cap. I think you can pay the coaches whatever you want.
Above my pay grade, I don't know.
And then that's like, you know, for years the rumor of Kraft and Belichick have always had some sort of under the table deal or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that I don't believe has to be as public as the players.
Right.
You know,
right.
And I'm pretty sure the coaches' salaries don't fall under the salary cap.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out. They love it when you're wrong. So if
you're
they'll tell you. They'll tell you.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure from listening to so much content about this that no one's ever mentioned how much they pay the coach and that affecting it's always the quarterback. You know, the you know, paying the franchise quarterback has always been a problem.
The only coach that I've seen and we got to get out of here, but the only coach that I've seen in the last couple of weeks that they were talking about his deal, and it's a bit of a gear switch, was Miami's head coach for Miami basketball. Getting that, like, I think he got hundreds of millions of dollars for a 10-year deal, and he's going to stay there. And the cool thing about him, I'm blanking on his name. I think it's Eric something, but he's the coach of the Miami Heat, who I'm not a fan of. But his story is cool because I think he started in the film room and worked his way up, and now he's the head coach, and now he got the biggest deal that any coach has had in North America, and he's going to die a Miami Heat guy. I think that's rad. I think coming in, success, film, work your way up, and then become the man, and then exit as that's neat. You don't get that. That's very rare.
It is rare, yeah.
That is a generational, like, old school loyalty.
You started sweeping the floor, and now,
Yeah, I think that's neat.
I know we got to go, but like I think like Nick Sirianni, the coach of the Eagles, is on the hot seat, and there's it seems like there's a theme where the coaches that don't call plays and are not necessarily like offensive or defensive masterminds, because Nick Sirianni and there's also Coach Mike Tomlin's like this, and there's other coaches that are not the play callers, and they're not like, you know, attached to the defense or you know, so there's an OC and a DC, and then they're basically, you know, the president of the team,
or you could be Arthur Smith and do all roles poorly.
yeah. But and then people are starting to criticize, like, what does Nick Sirianni do? You know, like, does he just throw a challenge flag?
That's called the Clear Channel.
Is he just
what do you do around here?
Giving speeches during halftime, and how much does that matter?
We
anyway,
can get AI to do that.
All right. We will see you tomorrow.
That's funny. Yeah, there's an article about that. Like, what do you do around here? got him at 2. Let me throw on Zoom. I hadn't seen anything come through, so maybe we'll just do it with Zoom and keep it quick.
Okay.
I was going to switch it to try and do a phoner, but I don't think Bill's awake.
No, that's fine. We could do a quick Zoom.
Just want to make sure this works. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, I forgot that part. The BDM said, and they didn't finalize his deal until after his divorce was finalized. Like his contract.
Who?
For the Miami head coach.
Oh.
They didn't finalize it until after his divorce was finalized.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just business.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, you're not going to, yeah, but I finalized it before, so I have to pay half of this as well.
All right. I'm trying to get Andrea to get us tickets to take Maisie to see Coach Kimlot at Christner's.
Okay, yeah.
Because I selfishly, I want to just go see him. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us again today, guys. We should have Taylor Williamson up next. You got notes for that now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to get. I did a sheet, but where's the? Oh, there it is. On the 18th. Oh no, he's going to be there tomorrow. Tomorrow, or when does this air?
Through the 21st. This airs on Friday.
On Friday.
So
we'll just say all weekend.
Yeah. We'll just say all weekend. Then.
This weekend. All right. Well, Ghost, it can be pretty bad out there. Dansby is at a puppy place today. Ugh, having a fun ripping around day. And I hope he's okay. I'm worried about my little buddy. Sorry again if I'm talking too much. No, I feel very clear and talk.
What's going on, Twitch? Taking a break for your pain meds? You're gonna have diarrhea.
Whatever.
It's someone, I can't see the name, but someone's taking a break from the pain meds. They're gonna have they're gonna shit their pants. That's what I know about pain pills.
I want pain pills. Oh yeah, Jackal's like, can you read us? If you sit right there, can you read it?
Yeah, the font
I made
is
it bigger. Yeah, I made it bigger for
okay,
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I got him. Here we go. Okay. Hey.
Hey.
How you doing, man? Can you hear us okay at all? Oh, yeah, headphones. There you go.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you. We can hear you. Hey, thanks again for doing this. We know you got limited time, so we're going to get going real fast.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me,
Oh.
and I wish I had more time to chat.
No
I
worries at
heard
all.
Wonderful things about you.
Maybe we'll get to do it again some other time, but let's roll into it. We're super excited to have you. Thank you again. And here we
you,
go.
brother.
We'll roll into it. All right, Mr. Van, you want to start?
Yeah.
3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Let's get the business out of the way and get to our guest very quickly.
Yeah, we'll be on Science on Tap this weekend at the Orlando Science Center. And speaking of this weekend, our next guest, he's going to be at the Wesley Chapel Side Splitters. That's the one north of Tampa this weekend.
There are 2 locations. Make sure you go to the Wesley Chapel location if you want to see our next guest.
Yep, Taylor Williamson is on the line. How you doing, Taylor?
Hey, guys. I'm good. How are you today?
Really good, man. Hey, thank you so much I know this is like super last minute. We know you have to, you're super busy and you got stuff to do, but we really appreciate the time. And you are a comedian that I've seen everywhere, and I kept going like, who's that guy? Who's that guy? And then Billy, our buddy, like said, hey, do you want to talk to Taylor? I'm like, absolutely. We have to be able to talk to Taylor because you have been hobnobbing with some of the most famous people I have ever seen lately. I see you pop up on Bad Friends. I see you pop up on WTF with Mark Maron. I see you, obviously, what is bigger than America's Got Talent, but is it as much the whirlwind as it seems?
But why are we not discussing that I'm on Tom and Dan in Orlando?
Well, I mean, like, and you're also going to be, in Wesley Chapel. So, like, scoop the tickets up. I mean, that's the important stuff. But no, like, I guess for us, we look at this and, like, I look at you and I'm like, well, how can he be everywhere? How can he be this big? Like, how are you able to even manage it? Because, we know Preacher Lawson. He's from Orlando. He does the America's Got Talent stuff. It seems very, very difficult, like extremely difficult.
Well, you're very sweet, and it's very stressful. I've been doing this for 20 years, and you guys are in the same business, similar, and like I've had not enough work and it's stressful, and too much work and it's stressful. Right now, I'm in too much work, and I've decided that's better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm so grateful to be asked to be on cool shows like yours and talk about my goofy comedy shows and get to travel to places. I hear Wesley Chapel's like everyone I know in Tampa is like, you're going to Wesley Chapel? Oh. It's just like, it's not like meat. It's not like bad, but it's just like, oh, alligators. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to see some alligators. You're going to meet some interesting characters. And I'm like, cool. Okay.
You'll
Here we
like
go.
it.
You know?
Well, that is Florida.
Yeah.
There's alligators and interesting characters everywhere. We're lousy with both.
Yeah.
So
Can I tell you, I was just in Calgary, Alberta, Canada with negative 40-degree weather. So anything in Florida sounds ideal to me.
You'll like it.
I saw your social video about that. It was just funny because you're coming down here when a cold front is happening to us now. So like the high is gonna be like 58, and that's real cold for us.
Oh, yeah. But it's gonna be perfect. You're gonna be so happy.
We're like, we can't go outside. It's 58 outside.
Yeah, like this morning it was 49, and I was like, I don't have clothing. I don't have any clothing for this.
I'll be sunbathing after Canada.
So I want to talk to you about America's Got Talent because we've talked to other comedians that have been on that show, and they talk about how difficult it is because
It's the hardest category, I think.
it's unlike any other like venue or like audience. You're going on after breakdancing. They're like someone's doing a slam dunk.
But more than
troop.
that, but you know what's funny? More than that, I don't like comedy is not something like judges. What do you mean judges?
Yeah, that's
it may
weird.
not be for you. Like.
So how weird was it for you, and what was your strategy going into it?
You think it's weird to have Heidi Klum and a German supermodel and Scary Spice Mel B pop star to tell me what's wrong with my comedy? You think it's weird for a Jewish guy to be scolded by a German lady for how he's not funny and he's supposed to be on a family television show and he's supposed to try to explain
in this climate
say something funny but be appropriate at the same time. Yeah, it's a disaster, honestly. Like it's and also let alone also the crowd's not there to watch comedy, and like there's nothing worse than performing for people who aren't there to watch you do comedy. And it's not their fault, by the way, you know, like you don't have to want to see comedy. But like I've done private events where like a business hires me because the boss loves me.
Yep.
And then he forces his employees to watch me against their will. And then they're not laughing and like they don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. And then they say I'm not funny. And I'm like, well, I'm down to, you're allowed to, I don't think I'm not going to argue I'm funny, but like you didn't. Like, you don't have to like my style of comedy, but it's like, you know, it's a nightmare. And then you're also supposed to do your best stuff every time. And then the next round, you're supposed to be better than last time.
But also,
yeah, so you eventually it doesn't. We're like, how do you do your best stuff the first time? How do you pick and choose what, like, where you start with your D material, work your way up to your it doesn't. It doesn't
because
really,
there is a strategy with this
but he
game,
did well.
with the reality show. I know you did
crushed
real
it.
well.
He crushed it. So like, why do you think you did well? Do you think it's your demeanor? Because I was going to pay you a huge compliment. I think you're cool. I think you're cool in any scenario.
Wow, I've never been called cool in my entire.
I approve. I approve of this. I approve of this. When Bill said that we were talking to you, I Googled you, and then I usually go and I look at a bunch of different stuff to see if there's any little new tidbits that are happening right now that we can grab onto. And I saw you do an interview with like a young girl about 5 days ago, like not that young, not like bad, but like, but like you're sitting on a couch with her, and you guys are doing like an improv, right? You're like an improv, sort of a really bizarre, weird interview. And you nailed it. You were so cool. And the girl has like maybe 500 followers. It only had 24 views on the thing on the YouTube. But you were so cool and pro, and just like she would do the weird. She did this skit where she's like, "Oh, I brought the drugs that you wanted." And you were.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's on YouTube.
It sounds like I'm not that cool if I did that.
No, you guys are doing like an improv, and the girl goes, "Oh, here are the drugs that you requested," and you said, "Oh, thank you," and you're like going along with her dumb skit.
Yeah.
And you were so cool, and I'm like, this guy.
Her dumb skit.
Yeah, I was like, this guy can handle any scenario. You can throw like this girl. It's 24 views. It was a dumb skit. It looked like she was doing that weird improv. Like unless this is your wife. If it's your wife, I'm very sorry. Or your mom or like.
Well, I think what Daniel's trying to say is like even on the biggest stage or the smallest stage,
doesn't matter.
You don't waver with who you are.
You're genuine.
Yeah.
You're very sweet. Yeah, honestly, like I haven't. I'm just listen. Is this the game? I haven't been playing the game of doing podcasts and putting myself out there and doing all the cool radio shows like yourself. Like I've been doing the business wrong basically, and I feel like I feel like Harlan Williams had me on his podcast last night.
We
Mark
love
Maron had
Harlan,
me and I'm like he's a genius, and
awesome.
He's so wonderful and a kind guy, whatever, all the things. But like I get that these people, I don't know, I'm grateful people are having me on their things, and if someone wants me to come on their thing, I'm like, you know, like we do each other favors and we all lift each other up. And if I'm playing the game now, if I get 10 fans, like I'm sure some people in Orlando are like, I'm not going to drive to Wesley Chapel, but maybe they want to watch my new comedy special, cheap plug, but maybe they want to watch my new comedy special I filmed called Taylor Williamson Live at the Comedy Store. It's free on YouTube. And it's my best jokes I've ever told. But then I'll have better jokes. Come see me at Side Splitters. I have better jokes. But it's a whole different act. But I'm grateful to connect with special artists like yourself, you know?
Well, you brought up something that I read in an interview that you said, and it's kind of what we've been saying for years too, because we're our own business and we started as a podcast back in 2009, and you mentioned that like you don't need millions of followers or fans anymore. All you need is thousands and a Patreon, and you can make a career out of whatever you want to do in entertainment. And it's true, because it's now with the internet and social media, and there's so many different avenues to make money. really you can do it whatever way you want to do it, and it's cool that we have that now, although it makes it a lot more complicated because now you have to be a social media person and do every element yourself, which makes it more complicated.
Yeah, like we used to only have to work an hour a day or a couple hours a day, however long your radio show is, and how many shows I have at night, and besides travel or whatever. And you should do more. We all should be doing more already. But like now, like I'm spending a couple hours a day editing, and I can hire people to do stuff. But also, we know how we want to put ourselves out there more than they do. So as a creative, it's hard to hire people to write the text that best shows how we want to be represented. Like it's not just I need someone to cook a sandwich. I don't know. I'm bad at analogies. You get what I'm saying.
I absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. I am also bad at cooking sandwiches. No, good.
By the way, I have a chef. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm homeless, but I have a private chef.
Hey, now I have to ask you because Daniel is also. He's in love with his, I like to call them pee-pee dogs, tiny dogs.
Yeah, on our show, we call little dogs, we call them pee-pee dogs because notoriously rich women buy these little pee-pee dogs, and the pee-pee dogs pee-pee everywhere. That's why they're called pee-pee dogs. Now mine, I have a West Highland Terrier. I love West Highland Terriers. This is my second West Highland Terrier. His name is Dansby. He is my best friend. He's actually right now at doggy daycare for the first time ever, and I'm very anxiety. Like I have called the place. It's called Rangers. I've called it 3 times. They don't have cameras. I'm very upset. I want to be able to check on him.
And so you have and bring your dog with you touring, correct?
Yeah, don't you have a pee-pee dog?
Well, I'm conflicted because I'm offended by your.
I'm sorry.
I apologize. It's the street lingo.
No. Hold on. I'm just describing the style of dog.
Would it help if we got it a Pepe?
Pepe? I have a Chihuahua that sounds racist to be called Pepe.
Okay, well, a little dog, tiny.
You just got canceled. But listen. My beautiful daughter, her name's Betty.
She's beautiful.
At Betty the Puppy Doggy on Instagram. I don't know who I am anymore. Listen, it's weird.
I support it. My dog has an Instagram too. Don't feel bad. No judgment here. Dansby the West Highland Terrier. I think he's got one of the hipster ones. It's like, I am Dansby _. And that makes me a little mad because I'm like, I am Dans. He's like declarative. He's very declarative.
Yeah. I somehow ended up with this 4.6 pound Chihuahua that
she's gorgeous.
Thank you. She is very sexy, and I take her like everywhere with me. I'm that guy who I have a dog in my backpack, and like I decided when I first got her, I tried doing the chest carrier thing, but like that's wild. The attention you get is ridiculous.
My wife won't let me do it. My wife, I did something real bad. After I got the dog, I signed it up for all the fake service dog stuff, and I got it the vest and the collar and all the stuff where I can take him anywhere. He's got a little card ID. He looks like a FBI. And but she won't let me use it because it's not real, and it would be me like taking advantage because I also walk with a limp when I have him like that. Like there's things I do.
You're a monster. Yeah, the problem
used to be.
The problem with having like a 4-pound dog and claiming it's a service animal, it's a little bit hard to like be like, yeah, if I have a seizure, she'll carry me around and she'll call 911 for me. Like,
but I'm 5'2". I'm also a very small man. I'm a very little man.
So maybe you pass. Maybe it works out.
It might absolutely work.
Well, Taylor,
forgive me, but I feel you. It's very important. I want to say I feel you on. You have separation anxiety from your dog who has separation anxiety.
Yes.
And you want to make sure your dog's okay at the place, but you just gave them a plug, so they should be sending you money. I just want to say.
Oh man, this guy. This is why we're gonna have to do this again, and we want to keep you on schedule because we know you're super busy. Taylor, thank you so much for the time. Don't forget to go and get your tickets to see him in Wesley Chapel, the best of chapels.
Yeah, this weekend north of Tampa and Side Splitters.
And for a fact, I know a lot of the guys in the chat room are going to scoop up some tickets. So we did good.
They're going to scoop up tickets?
We did good. We did good today.
Thank you, and please check out my comedy special, Taylor Williamson, live at the Comedy Store, free on YouTube. If you want to check out what my comedy is like, and my whole America's Got Talent journeys on my YouTube. I'm the second most talented person in America. If you don't come to my show, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Your special's really good, by
Yeah,
the way. I
yeah.
was watching a lot of it this morning. It's really funny.
Thank you again for
That
the
means so
time.
much to me. You guys are so awesome, and I'd love to talk real soon.
We'll
Thank
do
you,
it again.
brothers.
We'll do it again, man. Stay safe out there.
Tell Hulk Hogan I said hi.
We'll do it. We'll do it. See ya.
See ya.
That is Taylor Williamson live from what appears a log cabin. I love his background.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
We did it.
Yeah, I figured because now we can have a longer segment tomorrow.
Perfect. Nice. He's very nice.
Yep. All right. So now we just got to do intros for Wednesday, right? And Thursday if you want.
Yeah.
I'm going to take off to my meeting in 15.
Yeah, let me save this guy. That's Thursday. No,
That's Friday,
Friday
1.
1. Sorry I have to do that, because once I start looking at the other names, everything goes out of my mind.
You know what's weird? And I know
Me?
you could relate to this.
Me, I'm weird.
Is that when I start my intro to the person, like my mind goes blank, and then all of a sudden I'm reading it, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to mess up.
I want to yell the N-word every time.
I'm like, I'm going to call this guy the wrong name. And then it's going to be embarrassing. And like all this is going
I
through my
dare
mind
myself.
while I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
I
I'm
dare
going to screw
myself.
this up.
I dare myself to do bad stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go,
And then I'm like, is it Taylor or Tyler?
I
At
take
the
anybody's
same
name.
time.
Well, put your glasses on. I take anybody's
No.
name, and then I go, how can you fit the N-word into their name? And then introduce it. So it would be Taylor N-word son. and then I would stare at you, and then what would I do, right? And then it would be like, you're going to get canceled. You're going to just stay, hold. When you turn the camera off. And I just stare, and I'm staring, and I'm just staring.
I'll dip below the camera and then army crawl out the door, but you'll see me crawl.
I'll take the camera down so they'll see it. Okay.
Then I'll get my truck, I'll drive away, and I'll just keep driving.